Well, we're launching a new campaign today across our communities to make sure the general public are aware of the danger they've been put under by a small number of vandals who are stealing copper and putting their lives at risk by experiencing high voltage going into their households and what that means for the risk of fire. At the same time, we want to make sure that those are actually undertaking these tests understand the dangers they're putting themselves under, and that they are going to end up being badly hurt if they continue doing it. And thirdly, we want to make sure that the government are aware of the scale of what's going on here, to make sure that legislation can be improved to make sure we deal with these people effectively. Well, we'll launch the campaign next week across our communities, both in the national press and in the radio. I think they're very powerful, and they get to the point of what's happening here about the danger that the individuals are putting themselves under, but also the danger that the general public are putting themselves in by not reporting issues when they see them. And so what we're trying to get is make sure that they know how they can report this by phoning our emergency numbers, and also there's a reward available to that for them when we end up actually being able to convict somebody of a crime. And it's important that they also understand that they may not know for certain whether it's Scottish Power staff, but if they're in any doubt whatsoever, call the number and we'll get to the bottom of it. And that's what the campaign's all about, and that's what we're trying to bring into the awareness over the next few weeks for our communities. What I'm pleased to say is that the Scottish Government have now put on the agenda for this year to address some of the issues that have already been addressed in England and Wales, with removing the ability for people to get cash at scrap dealers for small amounts of copper. We want the Scottish Government to work quickly on that, and we're meeting with them over the next 2 weeks to build up on that legislation, to get that on the agenda and resolve quickly, hopefully over the next 6 months. But at the same time, we want the courts to take consistent action against the criminals who are caught, and understand this is not an insignificant crime. This is something where people are putting communities at danger by reckless behaviour to steal what is a small amount of copper.
I think some of the worst cases that we've seen, we've found substations that are lying wide open with exposed electricity within the substations. A lot of times these can occur in residential areas. The risk is obviously you've got children wandering, playing in the streets and wander into the substation, and it's a real safety risk. The other big issue we find is that we experience high voltage in domestic properties, so customers have got damaged appliances, or worse still, a risk of fire in the property because of the high voltage. I think the message is that the small value of copper that they recover from these thefts pales into insignificance compared to the risk that they're putting on members of the public, our staff, the emergency services that follow up these incidents. We easily could see a serious injury, a fatality on the back of what is maybe a £50 theft. It's a tragic circumstance.
Well, we've invested quite a lot in this publicity campaign, and we are hoping that we're going to be able to get a lot more cooperation from the public. Our assets stretch across a wide area. We can't cover them every single minute of every day as we would like to, so we're hoping to get the assistance of the public to make sure that we can identify thefts that are ongoing or have just happened, and hopefully catch the perpetrators and make our sites more secure. Well, it's a big campaign for us, going out to the public to hopefully get their cooperation when it comes to thefts from our substations. We have a huge area to cover. We have tens of thousands of substations. We can't cover them every minute of every day. We're hoping through the vigilance of the public we can identify thefts that are ongoing or thefts that have just happened, so that we can hopefully catch the perpetrators of these crimes.